Beautiful wood. This one especially. Spalted birch. Got a knot on that side. And this will be book matched. Knots on both sides. Pretty piece of wood. Welcome to Pappy's house. I'm going to build a box for a friend. I cut a tree down, well, not I cut a tree, I cut a stump off of a forked piece of tree, a little birch tree, and I'm going to use this wood to make a box that she would like. And it has the live edge on it. I am going to put this in a sealed trash bag with desiccant to try to speed the drying on this so that I can get this done quickly. It'll probably take a week or 2 weeks to dry this wood out enough to use it using that method. But I'm just taking a knife, not a kitchen knife, used to be a kitchen knife, and just knocking the live edge off of it, bark. The tree, this part of the tree, this stump of it, was dead, and this bark is flaking off really easy, so. It'll just be that much less that it has to dry, and hopefully won't make a mess. Because I'll take this inside in the house where it's warmer. It's still chilly out in the garage, and warmer temperature. Actually, if I had a heated box, I might invest in that sometime. I'll probably take a heat lamp and shine it on the black trash bag, and that'll help heat it up. If you could heat it up to a couple hundred degrees, you can dry this incredibly quick, you know, in a couple days probably. So I'll show you a picture of it once I get it in the trash bag and with the desiccant on it. This is what I am putting in the bag with the wood. Here's the bag, and you can see the wood stacked up, kinda shadowy. And then I have poured out 3 gallons, which is 8 pounds per gallon, blue, and it'll turn pink if it gets soaked up with moisture, but I don't think it'll be enough moisture to totally turn it pink, but I will have to recharge the beads after I'm done. Okay, so there's my last gallon of beads going in. And you can see the blue beads. And I'm just trying to pour them over the top of all the wood, and I'll shuffle it around once I get on to make sure there's beads everywhere. I put 2 gallons down on the ground, then laid the first layer of boards, and then poured some more and laid the second layer of boards. So I've got it pretty much covered everywhere. Then I'll open the bag periodically and check this end down here to see. I don't have a twist tie, but I'll get one and put on that right there. Now it's a waiting game. I have it sitting in front of this door. It's the only place I have that the sun comes and shines in to shine on this plastic bag. And believe it or not, that hot temperature will make a dramatic difference on how fast it evaporates and dries. I may just tuck this underneath. That's probably what I'll do. There you go. We're sealed up. It is Saturday, March 23rd. Let's see how the wood's doing. should have untied it before I started the camera. There it is. Well, we definitely got some pink showing, and there's moisture on the bag, so it's time to recharge some stuff here. Okay, I've let the wood from Sue's tree at Birch dry and desiccant, and I've got some significant splitting in some of it. So I'm going to go through and cut rough lengths and get all the pieces I need roughed out, and then get them thickness sanded. That was a lot harder to cut than I expected. That split extends on down into here. Hopefully I can get the rest of that cut out of there. This is still some good lumber here out inside the split. Cut out these bad knots that are here. See which side of this is straight. Neither. We'll go with this one. Oh, that is some crooked board right there. Hopefully I can get that one flattened out. It's a good straight edge, so. Figure out the best place to cut that one. I think I can get both halves of this. Just cut it right down the middle. Oh, there is some tension in that board, don't you know? Wow, I don't think I've ever had a board do that. There is some major tension in that wood. That's crazy. get all my pieces out of that, and this is scrap. I'll go throw this away. Very noisy in here with my dust collector. This piece is so cupped this way that I need to flatten it out to get it to be able to rip at the thickness on the bandsaw. So I'm gonna knock that curve out of it. Maybe. My breaker blew. It's on a GFI. Now we're in business. thicknessing all these boards down and getting them flat, knocking off the hedges. They cupped and curled a little bit whenever I dried them and split. I cut all the bad spots, and some of these have cupped pretty bad. You probably can't see it. I tried to cut this one thin and then dry it, and it cupped really bad, so that one's not usable. It's too thin, but I should have just barely enough wood out of that stump. Time I got rid of all the rotten stuff. Hopefully I can make it all work. I'm on my last final pass on all the wood. Here we go. That's all it was on all of them. That's all it was on all of them. And now they're just all the same thickness. I don't even know what that thickness is. I don't really care. I'll work with it, whatever it is. Alright, I'm cutting the sides to length on 45s. Okay, I ripped all the sides to the proper width, and I forgot to record it. I am going to cut out a rabbet on the bottom of these. I've already cut one and got the angle, and that's where the bottom will sit. So. here we are. Excuse me. Here we are at the table. I have these numbered for the best match. There wasn't a great match. 4. One. Okay, I do have to rip this down just a little narrower. That's a good thing. Trying to hold this in a mock-up and get the measurement is a whole nother issue. Five and 3/4 strong. What do I have? 5 and 7, 8, 15, 16. So I need to come down right at an 1/8. I think I'll take part of that off with the bandsaw, and then I'll sand the rest of it to get it to the right width. All right. Okay, I'm going to cut a scrap of wood and make sure I got the right width. That's pretty doggone close, and I think I'll probably have to sand it just a little bit. This side is smoother than this side, so I'll cut this side. Pretty rough. Got a rough, jagged edge. I put it right here. This flat surface, 100 grit, and I can sand it off. We'll see how that fits. This is all uncut, one take. Look at that. I'll shake you. Nose is running like crazy. That miter looks like it's cut out for me. We'll see how it works. At least that'll hold it in place while I glue it. Okay, now we're back. That works pretty doggone slick, actually. Get some clamps, clamp that baby. Okay, looks like I'm going to be able to scrape by. Not showing too square that direction. Well, I can tell you what I forgot to do right now. I got in a hurry. Got to sand the inside of those boards. I intentionally didn't sand the outside yet, but I did want to sand the inside. That'll make my life more complicated. Alright, well that's going to sit overnight. And I want to cut some little cross joints in here to strengthen the corner joints, because the miter joint's a pretty weak joint. You're gluing end grain to end grain pretty much. So we'll strengthen it up. I'm putting some corner reinforcement on these miters and a decorative. I forgot to show on the video the table saw portion of it. So it was real simple. What I did was set my fence to go to the right spot here. I set this down on the ground, on top of the table saw, and then set this on the box like that. Let it rest against the fence and just slid it through. And just cut that groove at a 45 right there. Very simple, very quick and painless. I took this scrap of walnut. It's actually a piece of walnut flooring that I ripped off the plywood with the bandsaw, and I just took it and ripped it into some 3/4 inch wide strips. Made these little blocks and then thickness sanded them on a thickness sander to get the right thickness to fit the saw kerf blade. So now I'm just gluing them in the corners. So I put some glue in the bottom of this soda bottle and use it. So I got all of the pieces in. I squirted some glue around this edge and just set this bottom in there. I had to tap it in place. In fact, it looks like it might be trying to work its way out a little bit. So it's a matter of just sitting and letting it dry. I think I'll sit it like that. We'll be back in a little while. So, next thing I need to do is cut this nasty edge off that top. Off of that piece. I've adjusted the saw to where it's just about the center of that blade, just barely taking any off of here. I want to keep it as wide as possible. Adjusted the height of the blade, so it's just a matter, I've got my glasses on. That took all of the bad edge off of it, so that's all I needed. Now, let's see what we have here. How much did that change the thickness of this? We're at 5/16. This is 15/16 thick. So I am going to cut me a rabbit probably half that way through it. And that'll keep everything looking the same thickness, and it'll recess in there a little bit and be a snug fit. That's probably what I'll do. I'll just go thickness sand this down, if you can see this. And that little bad spot there is that dark seam. And I'm just going to go sand that out. I'll be back. Well, that was a good decision. See, this is the side that has the punkiness in it. And this had that bad seam right in there. And I just sanded down through it. And the way it is now, you really can't even tell that that's two boards glued together. You can see it on that side, the color change there. But here, up here you can see the seam a little bit. So I'm going to try to mark it out right here so I don't screw it up. I'm going to have to sharpen my pencil first though. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. What did I say? We're going to mark this at 5/8, right? Screwed up. Just under 5/8. And we'll put this to, looks pretty accurate. I'll get a scrap and run through it and see how it works. This edge. Yeah, let's see what we get. Just under a ½ inch, not quite to 7/16. And we are right at 5/8, so that's pretty good. I need to move this fence. It again and see what we get. Got some pieces of wood falling off the table over there. I guess I should use my saw as a workbench too, huh? That is right at 7/16, so we are going to leave that like that. I'm saving this side and I'm cutting this side off. Just like that, all four sides. Here we go. So you can see, that puts these corners just perfect. Perfect seam all the way around them. So, I'm going to readjust my fence. We're going to call that good right there. I'm going to try it. There's what I got. So let's go see if it fits the box. I'll leave this live. I don't think it will. It doesn't. And that's a good thing. got it to where it actually does slip in a little bit in the middle. Slips in on that end. That end is a little, just a fuzz wider than this end. This end doesn't make it. So I am going to sand on this end intentionally. That may backfire on me when I finish it though, so I can always sand off more if I need to. Now lengthwise, I got to take off a little more also. So I'll be back with that. Okay, saw's still spinning down, so I haven't even tested it yet. Oh, it still don't fit. A little bit more. Here we go. Come on, baby. Oh, look at that. That's a pretty snug fit. Probably too snug of a fit. So I'll go back to my sander here. That's pretty snug. I'm going to leave it snug like that because I can always take more off of it, but I can't put it back on. So now my debate is, do I want to leave this little overhang? Can you see the overhang on the sides and the ends? Or do I want to trim it flush? Because this wood is so warpy and so twisty, and I think I'm going to leave it stick over. That is exposing yet another wormhole. Can you see that? Probably can't see it in the shadows too much. Probably see it better back out here. So I'll have to fill those. That's all I can do with that. And I have a little chamfer edge here that I'll need to fix. We're going to call that good. Now to decide which I want to be the front. That to be the front. Let me zoom you in a little bit. Do I want that to be the front? Or that to be the front? Both have a knot, but this one's a smaller knot. I'm leaning towards this side and having this dark wood towards the front too. Although I really haven't looked at it the other way. What do you think? That way? I think I like it the other way. I like the contrast. Not the greatest lighting in the world. And then the back will be that. And that's the end. And there's the other end. We'll get some good lighting at the end of this. I think this has been glued long enough. I'm going to cut those off. I guess all you smart people can see what happened. I nicked my thumb with it. Oh man. What a dumb move. What you get for getting in a hurry. Uh-oh, I need to not try to cut so close. This one's got a set on it and it's scratching the side of the box, so I want to get a different saw. I'm not so sure that this saw is any better, but we're gonna. Am I blocking your view? Maybe not. You can see under my arm. It is sharper. Maybe I'll put another piece here to help stop it from spinning. There we go. Got them cut. I'm going to zoom in to see them before I ever move it. Oops. I'll get them sanded flush and I'll bring you back. There we go. I think we're going to do that the front, and I think we're going to do that the front. A lot of this you won't be seeing. I think this will look like water when I get the inlay in it, and you'll see what that means. The inlay is going to have a bird and some plants and some couple different plants and a bird in it. Let me get you a little better light. Here you can see it's got a knot right there. That knot fell out in the process of sanding. So it's on the bottom, we're going to fill it. There's an end. There's the back. There's the right end. And this is the front. And that will be the top. And I still haven't decided. I'm going to ease these edges and make it not so sharp and pointy and square because this wood is soft and kind of punky. Spalted is the popular term nowadays, but we're going to call it next to rotten. So we'll make a plan with it and see how it goes. I'm out in the garage at the laser. This is an 80 watt, just a Chinese red and black laser is what it's commonly referred to. It has a work area capacity of approximately 24 by 20, I think. I don't really remember, quite frankly. But it's big enough to put a full-size guitar in the bed and like engrave on the back of it, or the wood before you make the guitar together. This bed goes up and down mechanically. Everything is controlled via software, and I am currently working on a project for a dear friend of mine. Cut down the tree. This is Sue's box project, and this is what I'm currently going to engrave in the top of this piece of wood. It will go like that. That will be the bottom, and you probably can't even see what that says. It says "Hope Dies Last." It's a hummingbird and some pampas grass type of grass down here with some ginkgo leaves. And Sue designed this, and we're going to try to make it a reality. I'm going to try to inlay all these parts. Okay, I've got the laser fired up and it is noisy. The main noise is the blower. I'll shine you up. That big blue tube is a blower mounted outside, And what you're hearing is the suction of the air coming out. So it sucks all the smoke out of this laser, and I don't fill the garage full of smoke and fumes. I don't have the air pump plugged in just yet. I'm going to run the outline of the box so I know exactly where to put this piece in relation. There's many ways to do it. There's fancy ways with cameras, and I don't have all that high-tech equipment. But I just scribe a line on the cardboard, then I can lay this exactly on that line, and I know I'll be engraving where I need to. Here we go, sending that to the laser. You can see the smoke coming off that gets sucked out the exhaust. And just for reference, this is not my actual piece that I'm using. This is the lid for the box. And this piece is smaller, but it's a scrap piece that I have. This fits my outline exactly. So I'm just going to throw this piece in to do a test. One final test, because I only have one lid. I don't want to make a mistake. So that's pretty centered, and we'll try to run that. Taking a second to process. There it goes. I'm going to let that run, and I'll high speed it so you don't have to dredge through all of this, but it is interesting to watch. I'll pause right there for a second to clean this glass. I wiped this side of it, but I didn't wipe the bottom side, so apparently there's dust on the inside too. Yeah, that's not much better, but it is a little better. So here we go. Okay, here's what it looks like fresh out of the laser. It's got soot on it. You can see it in different areas, how dark it burned, and that's just because mostly because this wood is so variable. It has many areas in the wood that are soft. I'm trying to work down into these little fine lines to get the soot out of it. And I'll probably take an air compressor and blow in there. This is how it looks after taking a stiff brush and a light wire brush and a fine wire brush, cleaning out all the grooves. So it lightened it up a little bit. And here's how it looks after hitting it with a sander. This is actually just maybe a more beautiful piece of wood than the other, but it's just not big enough to make the top out of. But it's very similar to the other piece. So I'm going to hit it with some stain, testing coloration wise, and this will be my test piece before I do the final lid. I unplugged the blower so it's not quite so noisy. You can hear the other fan running is the cooling fan on the laser itself. So it's relatively quiet. It may sound louder on the video than it actually is. This is golden oak color put on the wood. And what I noticed when I'm staining is the laser is the same power all the way through to all of these things. Some areas are very deep and have a nice ridge that I can put the inlay into, but then areas like this right here have no relief at all. I can take my fingernail and you can't even feel that. Although the line is super dark, here there's a substantial ridge, and right in here it's actually probably too deep. I don't know if you can see that or not. If I get it in a light, you can see a shadow line here, and there's just nothing there. Some of these areas are maybe a little extra too deep. These are just about perfect in here, and this letters look like it's pretty good. although this line is so thin that's going to be very hard to inlay anything into it. This is extremely variable here, so I'm probably going to end up taking a router to all of this and making it all uniform depth so that I can make my wood a uniform depth. You know, here it's super shallow and here it's super deep, so a lot of variation. Okay, I'm going to set the laser height. There's some buttons on the side of the laser that adjust this up and down, and these are cut to focus length right at 7/8 of an inch, I think. There, that is just about perfect. There is an air line here that pumps air and shoots it down, and it keeps smoke from going back up inside and fogging up the laser lens. And to some degree it helps with cutting action. I know on the internet some people use high pressure, but if that was the case, I don't know how I would get the pressure from just coming out this way instead of going down. With the high pressure, man, they can cut much deeper with that air pressure. So I'm going to turn the blower back on and run this entire piece of wood to engrave it. Okay, we are focused and we're set up and ready to go. Just a little bit more. Probably kick into high speed so you can watch the whole thing. Well, this camera, whenever you have it plugged in, it overheats, and that's exactly what happened. So I didn't catch it till this stage of the engraving, so I apologize. Well, I am very pleasantly surprised. This piece of wood burned much better than the test piece. I've got a nice, relatively even. Down here, it's very deep, but that's manageable. But all of these delicate inlays appear to be pretty uniform in thickness, and which will make my job a whole lot easier. Here I'm cutting parts for the hummingbird. Every different type of veneer cuts differently. There we got those three pieces out. I'll look at those with dearest. Before I put the veneer down, I run and trace the pattern on this board, and I'm tracing over the other patterns, but I can see the pattern I'm wanting to cut right now. The pattern I'm cutting now is these these 5 pieces. So I'll lay my veneer in that area. Oriented these pieces to run this way. Naturally in the model they don't run this way, or in the picture, but that way I can run the grain that way, and that will help with the feather direction for the hummingbird. Let's start that. being a dark wood, it absorbed that laser and cut right through it, no problem. I'll put these with my other parts. These are tail feathers mostly. Quite a few of these. Now I will lay a lighter gray color. Lay this in here. I don't want to waste any more than I have to, so I'll put this over in the corner. The laser travels above that magnet, so it shouldn't be an issue. It was close, but it didn't touch it. This one is black. It's a beak and the eyeball, and another black highlight on it. I expect that these will cut very well. Well, not as well as I thought they would. Very tiny pieces. I've got the pieces here, trying to fit it in. Well, that ebony is so brittle.